Okay, it is actually snowing, although at times it's mixed with rain, but it seems kind of stable, not big enough to stick from what I see anyways. And what did I read today? How about this one? It was kind of cool. Apparently there was a drone developed to film the F1 race with a really fast, I suppose, speeding car, and it looks kind of cool. So how about this one? This one says, world's fastest filming drone. How are those built? Drone masterminds have taken a DIY engineering to the next level with the first drone capable of keeping up with an F1 car on the track. A decade ago, when he was around 25 years old, Ralph Hockenberg, aka Shaggy, first got into the world of drones. Back then it was a hobby alongside his office, but as drone tech rapidly took off, so too did Hockenberg's involvement. From building drones to competing in the drone racing league to eventually filming Red Bull Valparaiso Cerro Abajo in 2020, Hockenberg's career has been picking up speed. Now, together with the whole of the Dutch Drone Gods team, he's topped it all by building a custom FPV drone that can actually keep pace with Red Bull's brand new F1 car, the RB20, around a full Grand Prix lap at the UK Silverstone circuit. And they're not joking, it goes really fast. It says the challenge and the road to building such an aircraft were monumental. The team had to ensure it could rival an F1 car in its acceleration and deceleration around turns, pack a battery that would be able to fly flat out around a 5.8 circuit, plus make sure that it could handle sustained power without bursting into flames. Oh, and then there was only the final challenge of learning how to fly a completely new drone and keep up with an F1 multiple world champion. It must be really fun though, I guess, to fly it, although that is kind of interesting. Has anyone ever flown, like, just say an FPV drone where it blew up in mid-air, like it caught on fire? And as well, I guess he can't talk about specifics anyways in terms of components according to this, but they asked him to share some specs, and it says the top speed is 350 kilometers per hour, an acceleration of 100 to 300 kilometers per hour in just 2 seconds. Most F1 cars accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 2.6 seconds. This generates 6G at max load with a 2 to 3G average acting on the carbon glass fiber and 3D polymer body. Weight was obviously important, and we managed to get it down to under 1 kilogram in weight. I like to get the camera capabilities to be able to live stream, but it still works well with a 4K 60 FPS, 5K 30 FPS camera with 10-bit colors. That's not bad. Would you actually dare to try to make something like this, I suppose, for fun and all that? I know in some places they'll consider this, nope, illegal for you to fly, even in your backyard, for example, to try to innovate in these ways. And I think this kind of shows too, a lot of times it's someone just doing something for fun as a hobby, just experimenting, and then they develop great things, right? In my opinion, you need people to be able to do stuff like this. And this was kind of interesting, as I've often heard of this company, ParaZero, where the first thing that comes to mind is that company that makes things like parachutes for drones to enable in a lot of places to fly drones over people and all that. Well, apparently they're getting into the counter drone space too, huh? Is there money to be made? It says the counter unmanned aircraft system market is estimated to reach over $15 billion by 2032. And it says ParaZero Technologies, an aerospace company focused on drone technologies for commercial drones, defense drones, and an urban air mobility aircraft, announced its intention to enter the counter unmanned aircraft system market. Small lethal drones are being utilized around the world with tremendous effectiveness and are reshaping the balance between humans and technology in war, raising demand for CUAS countermeasures. Counter-drone technology encompasses a wide range of solutions that will allow users to detect, classify, and mitigate drones and unmanned aerial vehicles. This includes everything from the camera systems and specialist drone detection radars to net guns and cyber takeover systems. Well, there's money to be made, so not surprised there's companies trying to jump into that part of the industry anyways. So let's see what happens there, I suppose. And apparently here, there's been this controversy about this new bill that's being introduced here. It's called the Online Harms, I guess, Act. Like, what is this? Apparently, it's supposed to allow officials to regulate, I suppose, like stuff online, and if what they deem is bad, they could literally put people into jail for that, for, I guess, like you could say, harassing people as an example. So what is it all about? I guess this one first says 5 things to know about Canada's proposed law to guard against online harms. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government has labeled its long-awaited legislation to better protect Canadians, and particularly youth, against online harms. Here are 5 things Bill C-63 proposes to do. So first, it says target specific types of harmful content. The government wants to target the non-consensual sharing of intimate images, including deepfakes generated by artificial intelligence, and content that sexually victimizes a child or re-victimizes a survivor. The bill would also cover anything online that is used to bully a child or urge them to commit self-harm. And they go on to say here, the bill would usher new rules for online platforms, one of which is broadly defined as the, quote, duty to act responsibly. Companies would be expected to reduce exposure to harmful content by continuously assessing risk, developing mitigating strategies, and providing tools for users to flag harmful content. Now that's kind of controversial because it's shown over the past few years here anyways, a lot of people were wrong about various subjects and they were constantly, let's just say, censored and all that just by having a different opinion of sorts. So what's stopping people in this case to say it's not so much it's, quote, harmful, it's you don't like it? So that's the question too. Who exactly would determine what is, quote, harmful and all that? It says the government seeks to create a new digital safety commission comprised of 5 individuals appointed by cabinet. It would have the power to order the removal within 24 hours of images shared without an individual's consent, as well as consent that sexually victimizes a child or survivor of abuse. So on paper, again, that sounds okay, like you're saying protecting children and all that, but I'm just wondering, since it's so broad, like with the way it's written, how do you stop, for example, people from abusing this in general? And it says the government plans to add online hate speech as a form of discrimination under the law and allow people to file complaints against individuals posting such content to the Canadian Human Rights Commission. It would also make changes to the criminal code, including by increasing the maximum punishment for 4 hate propaganda offenses. This is, for example, someone found guilty of advocating genocide could face life imprisonment up from 5 years in prison. The government is also looking to create a new hate crime offense that could be applied to every other offense instead of only listing it as an aggravating factor during sentencing. So how do you determine, again, what's harmful, what's right, what's wrong? It's almost controlling a free flow of information. I'm inclined to say in general, if everyone is a fully grown adult, you went through some kind of education system that's supposed to teach you how to think, then why treat it in this way where you have to protect, let's just say, every single person as if they're that fragile? Like, shouldn't you have the maturity to be able to interpret information, assess it, and then come about with a decision of sort? Like, again, on the surface level, it sounds okay, like you're protecting kids and all that, but usually in these cases, it doesn't end up that way. I mean, it's like tech, correct? Like, when I'm thinking about it, you could come from the angle of, well, it's for safety, for example, so we need to create this and that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't actually do that. You have officials, for example, being dangerous with various tech items, and all it does is just really restrict, let's just say, the average person. So I don't know if this will actually work in the long run. All right, see you guys later.